Hello, welcome to Kay's in the Garden. I'm Kay, and this is my garden. Good morning, everyone. It is February 28th, and we are out in the garden because it's time. It is time to start planting. I am about 2 weeks behind, and I have a lot to do today. So what I'm going to do first is kind of walk around, show you really quick what we're going to be doing today. And then I'm going to put you guys down and we'll pick back up when we get ready to start planting. So I have a lot of prepping and harvesting to do this morning. You've seen that on previous videos, but I want to kind of show you the before and then you're going to be able to see the after. The temperature today is right now 67 or 68 degrees. It is very foggy right now, which is perfect. And it's supposed to get up to 80 degrees today, which is not perfect, but it may be okay because it's going to be mostly cloudy all day. So this is the best time to go ahead and take care of this. And so we've gotten up pretty early. It's about 7 a.m. I was up at around 6, prepping and getting everything out here. Well, I guess there's nothing else to say. Let's just get into it. We're going to start over here on the right side bed, and this is where the garlic is planted, but you would never know because you can't see it past all the weeds. And so we're going to go ahead and clear this bed out so that we can amend it and even plant. We're planting tomatoes over here on this side, specifically Roma tomatoes along this side of the fence, and we're going to be planting more larger, maybe beefsteaks on this side, maybe determinants, because let me show you, my cattle panel goes a lot higher on this side, and it's a little shorter on this side. So maybe we might get some determinate tomatoes on this side. I'm going to be removing that comfrey plant, and I'm going to try to relocate it. We're going to clean up all these weeds that have been living their best life. But it's time for you to go. And we're going to be planting in this smaller flower pot. So we're going to be getting, this is the blue salvia. And I think there's a blue salvia over here. We're going to get the red Saint Fire salvias planted in here. And we're also going to get maybe some sunflowers dropped in and see if we can get an early planting of sunflowers. But this bed also needs to be weeded. We're going to take care of our aloe vera plant that had a little damage in the freeze and get it all cleaned up and take some of those weeds out. In this bed, I definitely need to harvest all of these turnips. I really wanted to get the greens, but they are starting to get some white powdery mildew. So I don't think I'm going to be able to keep the tops, but I will definitely keep the turnips. We will, of course, leave all of the garlic, just maybe add some amendments and kind of top off the soil a little bit. On the video where you guys helped me plant the strawberries, I had the extra soil. This is where I put one of the tiers and the other tier went on the other side. So I kind of spread it out some of this soil, but I still need to amend the center and add maybe some compost to the entire bed. I'm going to jump over here to the blueberries. So for the most part, we're already starting to see growth with the blueberries. So I won't need to really do much here, except for I do want to go ahead and get this blueberry into this pot. This blueberry is a Blu-ray blueberry, and it's a late bloomer, at least last year it was. I think it just needs a little TLC. And then the blueberries on this side, I've already started to see growth on my favorite blueberry plant, and so I'm excited about that. And then this one, I don't really see much growth on it, but I am starting to see some blooms starting to happen, or some growth. So it survived the winter. So I will add some fertilizer mix to this, meaning mostly some liquid acidic fertilizer. I have my soil ready to go. I do need to get some more black cow. I only have 3 bags. But the soil and my pine nuggets for my acidic plants, I'm going to mulch. We're ready to go. Here's my raspberry plant. I don't even know if you could see it. It's right here, and it needs a little TLC. It has seen better days. The roots are kind of exposed a little bit, so we're going to top that off and try to give it a little TLC as well as some amendments to the soil. Here we're over here at the pomegranate bush, and as you can see, just from this weekend, I think we had 80-degree temperatures over the last couple days. This has really come to life. Like, not one leaf was on this plant, and as you can see here, we have quite a bit of growth. There's some along the back there, and we have some beautiful new growth coming in. But we'll also, again, add some amendments to this. What we are still calling our lemon tree is looking pretty good. Lots of new growth I can see on here, and I believe, okay, here on this stem. So we're going to keep trucking along and letting this be our lemon tree, and I will keep you guys updated as the season goes on. I need to trim this branch back. It doesn't have, well, actually I see a little growth on it, so maybe not. The leaves at the top look pretty sad. So I'm not sure. I might trim those. Those are some of the longer ones, not looking so good. So this is our roselle bed. I'm going to get, hopefully, I might wait. The roselle likes hot, humid weather, and so they could come out right now, but I think I'm going to wait. I have 4 red roselle plants, and I'm going to plant those here, maybe 3. Last year I had 3, and it was a little overwhelming, so maybe I might not plant 4. I'm going to cut these rose bushes back. Even though there's already starting some growth, there's some sections in the center that's dead, and I think it just needs to be cut back. So we're going to trim this up as well. I'm really late on trimming roses, but we're going to just go for it. And then also we're going to trim this rose bush. This rose bush was falling forward and just really not shapely, so I put that cord around it to try to help control it and get it to grow back upward. I may end up adding it to the other rose bush because it's kind of leaning forward, but I think it was running from the roselles that were planted here last year. We're probably going to look at this lavender. It looks like it's on its last leg from the freeze, but I may just cut it back. I think I do see some greenery in there. Let's take a closer look. I do see some greenery right here, so maybe I just need to cut it back. Heard lavender was perennial. Let me know in the comments, is lavender perennial? I do have a foxtail fern right here, and it always grows back every year. It is perennial, and so it dies back with cold weather, and the freeze took it out. So we're going to just clean it up. And my cherry tree that looks like it has a lot of blooms on it, I'll get a little bit closer in a moment, but we've got to clean out those weeds, guys. Why didn't y'all tell me on the last video that y'all saw all those weeds? Someone could have put it in the comments. You know how I feel about weeds. So I'm gonna get a little bit closer. You can probably see there's some blooms coming in. So I don't know, is this gonna be the first year we get cherries? There's lots of blooms on the upper branches. But I just got this last year, this time, and it was probably the height of where that cord is. So I think we've been pretty successful with our cherry tree. It's just that we haven't gotten any cherries. Let's move around to the front side of the garden. Let's take a pit stop right here. I'm going to see what I can do about this spinach. I keep saying I'm going to harvest it. A lot of it is gone to seed. My cilantro is going to seed. Let me show you how you can tell when cilantro is going to seed. If you notice how tall this cilantro is and the stalk has gotten really thick, you can tell it's preparing itself to start creating blooms. And then when those blooms occur, you'll start getting seeds after it blooms. Same thing with some of my spinach. You can see all the yellow flowers in here. That's spinach going to seed. when a plant starts to flower to go to seed, it stops putting the flavor into the actual plant and focuses on the flowering. It knows it's at the end of its season and it is trying to preserve itself, and it's going to create seeds, drop seeds, so spinach will grow next year. Now, I don't know if I'm going to plant spinach in this spot next year, so I'm probably not going to let it go to seeds. And I have a lot of spinach seeds, so I don't need to, this year, I don't need to actually preserve seeds this year. So I'm going to see what I can do with the spinach that has not flowered, but the spinach needs to come out. This is the Swiss chard that actually died back quite a bit during the freeze. And I thought Swiss chard was cold hardy. Well, it's growing back. So it didn't die. It just, the leaves were damaged and died back. But I'm going to leave it for spring. And this will be our Swiss chard harvest. From the extra green stock soil that I had, I dumped it here on top of my bulbs, flower bulbs, the lilies. I think I have several different things in here. And they actually started growing. So you can see here, sorry, my hand's causing it not to focus. But here's something, one of the plants that are starting to kind of pierce through the soil. I think some of the other ones are probably zinnias flowers growing, and I'm going to pull those because I don't want zinnias in this area. I planted some bok choy here on a late harvest, just threw some seeds out. Never harvested, and it survived the winter freeze, but it doesn't look that great. So I think we're going to clear that out. And then we're going to move over to the second bed of spinach. As you can see, it doesn't look that great either. And we're going to go ahead and get that cleared out. And then we'll add soil. This bed is a little bit low. We're going to add soil. And last night I finally decided what's going to go where. So I can't remember right offhand. I do believe squash and zucchini is going to be over here, but not the entire bed. I always plant zinnias on this side. So I'm pretty sure zinnias would be in this section. I've mentioned this before, but my bedroom window is right above the spinach bed here. And I love waking up to seeing the zinnias out here. Flipping you around, here's the main entrance to the garden. And we're going to just kind of walk through real quick and talk about what we're going to be doing. Again, I'm going to put the camera down so that we can actually get it moving and get some stuff completed before it actually hits 80 degrees. To my right is the cabbage. We're not doing anything with the cabbage, maybe a little cleanup, but it's still growing. And one of the other reasons why we're not doing anything, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but there is a huge spider web right there's the center. So that entire area, he's done a lot of work to build that web. So, but I can't get any work done if he's right there. And I can't leave him. I don't know. We'll see. I'll tell you when we come back. As I try to duck and dodge all of the spider webs, we're here at the first broccoli bed. So I do have some side shoots on this and on this plant, and I have a small head on this plant, but this has got to go because this side of the bed is going to be tomatoes. And on the other side of this cattle panel, I'll plant pole beans, specific dragon tongue beans, along the base of this trellis so that it can grow up the trellis. And then on the other side, I can't remember, but I'm planting something over there. Again, when we get to the planting part of the video, I will be more specific about what's going where. But I do know we had tomatoes here last year, and I was able to hang string down so that I can help control the growth upward. And I'm going to do that again. I like that. And when the dragon tongue beans grew up the trellis, it provided a lot of shade for the tomatoes, especially in the heat of the day. So we're gonna keep doing that. I really had a lot of success from that last year, and we're gonna keep doing that. This bed, I have a lot of broccoli, as you can see here. I have some that's even gone to flower because I was too busy to get out here and harvest it. I have some cabbage in this bed that we're going to harvest. Lots of onions and garlic that's looking great. But after we clean this up, it'll be a lot easier for you to see. In this tower here, I don't talk much about it because there's nothing in it. But last year I grew dwarf tomatoes along the bottom. There's 3 bags there. And then I had a few here on top. But I'm rethinking that, but I love this 2-tier rack, and so we'll use it some type of way. But we're cleaning this out today. Grow bag alley, we have a lot to clean up. We have the toothache plant that's dead here in the first bag. We have what we thought was a moringa tree, and it's not. The branches are nice and green. The leaves look bad. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I may take it up and put it in another of those black larger pots just to see what it is and let it continue to grow. It looks like it actually is starting to grow some leaves on it, so it's not dead. I might trim back some of the branches that may not be green and then just continue to see what this is, because if it is a lemon or a lime tree, it takes a while to grow those from seed. And so I don't want to just throw it away. So we're going to go ahead and just take it out of this bag, add more soil, because this entire row will be determinate tomatoes. And then we're going to clean out all the weeds. There's weeds along the ground here. And so we're just going to clean. Basically, we're going to take this morning to clean all of this up. Okay, I jumped over here to the garlic and collard greens and kohlrabi bed. I want to replant. We're going to harvest all of this except for the garlic. And then I only have about 2, maybe 3 kohlrabis. We're going to harvest those today. And we're going to get the small kohlrabis that I have in the garage. We're going to just go ahead and direct seed those out today, since we have a cloudy day and the direct sunlight won't be too harsh on them. And we're going to get this bed cleaned up, harvested, and replanted. Let me show you something. I was just looking at this green stalk right next to me. I don't talk a lot about the green stalks because it's just garlic and it's just garlicking. So I saw how thick, I don't know if you noticed that, look how thick those stems are already. They are ready to start producing some big bulbs for me, and I appreciate it. Thank you guys. We want big bulbs this year. I might go ahead and add some fertilizer to this green stalk. This green stalk, I don't know what, I can't find the tag in this. Of course, I'm not even going to look because there's probably geckos and who knows what else in here right now. So, but I want to remember this garlic because it is the best looking garlic I have in the entire garden. I'll show you some of the other green stalks. They look a little wimpy. They're still alive, but this I'm hoping for a really nice harvest. So I'll keep you updated on this green stalk. Swinging over behind me is the onions. I need to come in here. Usually I would have cut this back, and I'm thinking I may have lost my window of cutting the tops back. I'm actually starting to get some bulbing. So I don't know if you can see that onion. See if I can move this stuff out of the way. That onion is starting to bulb. I can see it clearly, but I'm pretty sure actually there's 2 in there, but because of all this greenery, you can't see them. But I'm pretty sure, I will not lie, I am going to go ahead and cut these greens back today. I may do it on some and leave some because I don't want to mess up my entire harvest and not get larger onions. I'm okay with some small onions. So I'm gonna, this is too much. I can't get in here and spoon. So I do need to try to remove some of this tops. And I'm gonna run the freeze dryer. So we can get some good onion powder out of this. This is the bed that had the root knot nematodes, and we planted some mustard, and I planted some ground cover in this bed. One half closest to us was the mustard. I heard mustard is best for root knot nematodes. And then the right side, the further side from us, is, I just had some, I think it was some type of pea ground cover. It's all dyed back, which is great because I don't have to, amend it into the soil so much. But we're going to get the weeds pulled. There are a few greens, mustard greens on this side that I'm probably going to try to let stay in there. But for the most part, we're going to get okra planted in this bed and something else along the front. But there's also going to be flowers over in this bed, maybe asters or something like that. Right next to it is a green stalk that has garlic at the top, and it has cilantro at the bottom. And I have not harvested cilantro once, and I wanted a lot of cilantro. And it's still not too late for me to get another round, but it's going to warm up quick here, and cilantro does not like warm temperatures. So we're going to just harvest it today and cleaned up. But it's just the bottom 2 tiers, and I'm probably going to plant some determinate tomatoes in here on maybe the last row. But once we pull the garlic, I'm not quite sure what we're going to be putting in the green stock. Maybe a second round of tomatoes. I want to grow a lot of tomatoes today. I'm going to plant a lot of tomatoes. I'm trying to use my space a lot better this year for a bigger harvest, especially around tomatoes. I want to do more salsa. I want to do more marinara sauce and tomato sauce. And so we need tomatoes. This bed, we took the radishes out as well as the eggplant. I think I'm going to put 1 or 2 eggplants in here. Last year I planted the eggplants in the front. That was crazy. I'm going to put the eggplants along the back, and then I'll put the radishes along the front. Maybe some lettuce will go in this bed also, but I should have put something on top of this, maybe a cardboard box of some sort, because you can see the weeds are starting to come back. I'm also probably going to plant my sorrel over here. I had to purchase a sorrel. I've been trying to reseed one, and it hasn't been that successful. I just purchased one because I really want sorrel before it gets too hot, and so I'm going to plant that here. We're going to clean up the celery. I see a lot of new growth here in the center, so we're going to clean it up and harvest. Here's the cauliflower bed. I do have 1 more cauliflower that I need to harvest, and the rest of this, maybe 2. I see one on the other side. So we're going to harvest the cauliflower in this bed, clean it up. Cherry tomatoes will be planted today in the far side from us, and then the tomatoes that are going to be planted here on the near side of us is not ready to come out yet. But that's okay. We're succession planting a little bit at a time. The trellis needs to be cleaned up. We'll do that today because we're going to be planting something that binds up this trellis to protect my tomatoes. Again, I thought that was a great idea. We're going to do that again this year. On this end of that bed, we had basil here in this corner, and I had a tomato cage a red tomato cage that I opened up to more like a box to separate it from the tomatoes and let the basil grow up into it. And I had a great year for basil. And I'm going to do that again. I was hoping that basil would pop back up because, it drops so many seeds. I was looking at this plant here, and it has kind of a red stem. And I was thinking, what is that? I didn't plant anything over here. As I was talking about my basil, I can notice there is a small basil here that's growing. And I was thinking, what did I plant over here that had a red stem? Malabar spinach. Look at that. Those seeds that dropped, those blackberry seeds that was everywhere. Remember I told you guys? Look at that. We're going to have a great harvest of Malibu spinach. They're even all along the bottom here in that soil. I'm going to pull those out. I'm not going to let that grow, but yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm really excited about that. Okay, guys, I know. I don't even want to, don't add comments on this. I need to harvest this kale. I know. And it will be harvested today. It will. I know I keep saying that, but it will. It absolutely will. For multiple reasons. One, I need to harvest it. It's a waste of food. And two, my snapdragons in the back there are being suffocated. And you know how much we like snapdragons. I'm going to harvest the carrots in the back. Again, because it's a waste of food if I don't get those out of the ground. And two, my onions are really starting to shine through. I don't know if you can see them there on the corner, but you know, there's nothing to it but to do it. So let's get to it. Guys, we have asparagus. It's springtime. When you see asparagus, you know you're in business. I know you guys were with me when we cleaned this bed out, and I didn't have all this growth. I even have ferns already. So we're going to get these weeds out. I need to add some amendments to this, even maybe some more soil. Harvest a couple of these. There's probably 3 asparagus in here that I can harvest. But we need to give our asparagus the best possible chance. And I need to take care of this bed. I should have done that a long time ago, knowing that asparagus is the first to present itself. I should have already been on top of this one. There's crazy weeds. Crazy weeds. I can see the carrot beds from over here. And you see that bare section right in here? There's a huge carrot that doesn't have a top on it that died back. But I can see the carrot's top exposed. Yeah, we need to harvest the carrots. I recently showed you guys the beets, and I want this bed to be cucumbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plant cucumbers. I'm going to try to squeeze them in the back there so that it can grow up this trellis. And on the side a little bit over there, I'm going to get flowers on both ends of this bed. Again, maybe asters or something. Definitely not zinnias. They'll grow too big. I did have some ranunculus corms planted here. And last year they were beautiful. But they don't look like they're coming back. I do see some new small growth here along the edge. Maybe that might be them. Not sure. Sometimes those first leaves confuse you because you think that's something actually growing. Our tops on our Brussels sprouts have just gotten massive again. And so we're going to harvest some of that. Here's my third cauliflower that I need to harvest. I'm going to harvest the cabbage today. Probably all of the cabbage in this bed. Even the red. We're going to harvest those. I might not harvest our little experiment here. I might leave it just to see. I don't think they're going to get any bigger. Maybe we'll just have some cute little cabbage heads. And then down here, I have several cabbages on the end. This cabbage in the back, I'm going to zoom into that one. This cabbage here in the back is full of aphids, and I've just been using it as a trap crop. I knew there was aphids on it. It hasn't really affected any of the other plants around it, so I told them, you can have that one. I don't mind sharing. We're going to go ahead and pull these broccoli plants. I was trying to let them go to seed, but they were already going to seed whenever the frost hit, and I think they're pretty damaged. So I think I'm just going to pull them. I have broccoli seeds. I'm not going to stress over these two. What I'll do is next year, I will save seeds, but I have plenty of seeds right now. See, guys, this is what I'm talking about. Confusion. That looks like something. I don't know what that is. Let me zoom in. If you guys know what that is, let me know. What I planted in here were turnip greens, and we harvest those, and then I put down a lot of the broccoli leaves after the frost when we did the cleanup. And so I don't know what that is. but it looks like something that I should keep in there, but I'm not. Even that zinnia over there has got to go. We're going to clean this bed out. Again, I don't know what I'm going to plant in here. The back portion may be flowers. I'm trying to get more flowers in the garden. In these 2 bags, I didn't know if I was going to keep these 2 bags this year, but I think I'm going to keep them. What I'm probably going to plant in here is a combination of sunflowers as well as tomatoes. I might get some determinate tomatoes over here and see how they do. If not, I might use them for potatoes. I have some more. I didn't realize this, but I have some more potatoes coming in that I purchased from Gurney's when I purchased the strawberries. So those are going to be coming in within the next maybe 10 to 20 days. So I might leave this for our second succession of, or I should say our third succession, because today we're going to plant our second succession. And then we might plant our third succession of potatoes over here. Now, why do I need so many potatoes? Because I don't cook that many potatoes, but if I had them, I would. So maybe that's the reason. All right, so this last bed, I am going to, well, these are the last 2 beds. Let me pull it back a little. On these last 2 beds, we have quite a bit growing in this one. This is the last round of spinach that I grew, so it looks a lot better than what I showed you earlier. This red vein sorrel, I don't know if I like that. I think when I taste it fresh, it was a little bitter. Maybe I should add it to a salad. How do you guys eat or prepare your red vein sorrel? I thought I heard it was great. I love the more lemon zesty regular sorrel, which is what I'm going to plant. I told you earlier, but I don't know. I don't know about this one. Unless you guys give me a great suggestion on what I should do with this sorrel, it's coming out because this bed is supposed to be my watermelon bed, which leads into the watermelon patch that needs to be cleaned up. On this table, I had dwarf tomatoes that did great. I'm going to put those back in there. The only problem I had last year is I only have 1 watering spout for this. And I put it on kind of a stick so that when it's spraying, you can see the stick here. I put it in the center one. And so when it's spraying, it kind of goes, it sprays out. So it doesn't water great. I'm going to see if I can figure out maybe a splitter on this one and get 3. So each pot can have its own watering. So I don't know. We're going to see. I'm going to see if I can talk my husband into doing that. Here's an example of what I mean. You see how I have that on a stick? And then I had Mexican sunflowers in these 2 beds. I actually have 3 now. I brought one other one over, and I'm just going to plant flowers in here. It will definitely be zinnias. I think I said zinnias. I'll have to look. But I'm definitely planting flowers in these 3. I have 1 more grow bag that, again, I'm not quite sure. I think I'm going to take this grow bag and dump it into one of those larger black, sturdier containers that I have, and then plant something in that. I think it doesn't dry out as quick, and these grow bags are starting to have a little wear and tear along the sides. So I think what I'm going to do is just dump this soil and amend it into a larger container. And of course, I will grow tomatoes. This last bed is definitely, I kind of went out of order here, but this last bed that I'm going to show you is where we have the lettuce. And what I'm going to do is, this is a tomato bed, and I will probably plant tomatoes along the back to give them time to start growing and for the lettuce to grow. And as these tomatoes grow, I will trellis them up. And I'll always keep I'll put some marigolds in here, some basil will be planted eventually here, depending on how well these lettuce continue to grow. But I will have marigolds and basil pretty much everywhere where I said there will be tomatoes. Frog Table City is going to have dwarf tomatoes, and probably 2 to 3 pots will be here on this stand on the top row, just like the last one. I don't typically put anything under the bottom. I have that pot there, but it'll probably be for the tomato, because of course it doesn't get a lot of sunlight and it will be suffocated under there. So it's just a pretty table to elevate the tomatoes, easier to harvest and for me to see. Okay, guys, I'm going to go in and grab a sweater. It's a little chilly out here. I thought with 60 degrees it would be fine, but it is a little cold. So I am going to go inside and grab a jacket. I'm going to come back out and get started. I'll pick you up a little bit in here and there as we're cleaning things and kind of do a quick little video and let you see what we're doing. But for the most part, I will just bring you guys back and do a quick little run through of what we're doing, or at least for sure bring you back when we are planting. Okay. All right, see you guys in a little bit.